Loudwire, and I'm not going to read the whole article, but only just certain bits, and the link to the article will be in the description below. But nevertheless, despite the inability to tour, the guitarist vocalist has remained awfully busy, having released the Still Unrest dual single as well as hosting weekly happy hour styled acoustic performances. Flynn details his experience with the hostile social climate in America and his reactions to the fatal shootings of Ahmaud Arbery by civilians, as well as the video of George Floyd's death in police custody, which prompted protests against the police brutality not just in America but worldwide. As artists around the globe contemplate how to keep things moving with touring off the table, Flynn expressed what he deems is an unpopular opinion in that he doesn't foresee a return to a pre-pandemic normal for upward of 4 years, in part because of expected waves of infections as well as public general fear of resuming regular activity once the pandemic has subsided. It's been super fun. So Robb Flynn was asked, in what ways is what ways is this current period in time making you a more versatile musician? He responds by saying, it's been super fun. I started doing it at the beginning of the pandemic in March. I think that was the week after we got locked down. I did my first one. If you go back and look at all the first ones, they were pretty bad and I was still trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. I got into a groove about a month into it. It was probably a challenge that I would never have put myself up to the pandemic if the pandemic not struck. We played acoustic songs here and there in Machined, but play a whole new 2-hour set once a week. I'm trying to learn 3 new songs every single week so that the set list is constantly different. Right now I've got a repertoire of about 60 songs that I'm putting from each week about 2 months ago, and I got really tired of missing a couple of notes on some of the songs that I love. I called up my old singing teacher, Melissa Cross, and I was like, hey, I need you to wrap my head around singing acoustic guitar. Just me and acoustic guitar, nothing else. It totally raw with no effects or anything. People are always very used to hearing produced finished products by now. This is just kind of like this raw punk rock thing. It's really fun, very spontaneous. I'll take cover requests and I'll do them on Facebook Live. There's all kinds of people talking after all this time. For the first time in a decade, I'm singing lessons again to prove myself for this. If we're going to be not touring and locked in for all the next bit of time, I might as well work on improving myself. He was also asked, what's been the biggest benefit to being forced to curtail much of your typical routine? With the acoustic happy hours, it's a happy hour. I play for 2 hours, I drink beer. I get everybody to drink and hang out. So that has really been giving me a great focus and it's fun. Really look forward to them and our fans really looking forward to them because it's like a party. It sucks that the touring got cancelled. We had to cancel our tour, and what the future holds for the rescheduled tour dates that we have coming up, I have no idea. In a lot of ways, if I'm not on the road, I'm just working from home, so in that respect, my life isn't that different. The money is getting a little tight right now, and in probably about 4 months, I might be applying for a job at Starbucks, but for now we're doing okay. We're just seeing what happens. Like everybody, we're just so completely sideswiped by everything that has happened, and we're just trying to make sense of it in a world that is literally going crazy. Certainly here in America, it's just going crazy. He was asked, looking ahead, what positive innovation do you think can come from recalibrating the way concerts are staged after the shutdown? He says, I can't really wait until the day where we can all get a Metalheads show. It's like a religious experience. It is so much of a community. The crowd singing along is such a big part of the show. I talked to people in the industry and many of the venues are talking about opening up and they're only going to be able to open to be 25% capacity. And he's like, 25% capacity? That sucks. Everybody mashed up against each other, sweating on each other in a single row. That connection of people, that makes it so much fun. I've been saying this for a while, and I said it back in March, and I didn't get a welcome response from the people at large, but I know a lot of people appreciate my honesty about it now, but this thing that's going around is probably going to go on for probably 2 or 4 years. I don't think it's going to be back to normal, whatever that is, for at least 4 years. I think it's going to be very much like the Spanish flu of 1918, where it went for a couple of years and it's going to come in waves and then it's going to die down and then another wave is going to come. By the time everybody's done with it, we're all going to be so shell-shocked and probably actually devastated that it's going to take what happened in 1918, where we took another 2 years for people to just feel safe to go back out. So we're in for the long haul. I know that that's not what people want to hear. People want to hear it's going to be back to normal by March of next year. If anything, for me, that's just the way my mind works. Knowing that touring is off the table for that long actually puts me more at ease. It's my mind. It's like, okay, I've got to really figure out something to navigate this as a band, and as the band leader, me and my guys have got to figure out ways to get around this because there's just no way that people are going to be able to come together in groups that make sense for promoters to make money, for venues to make money, for bands to make money. It's expensive to tour. Nobody realizes how expensive it is to tour. Tickets to metal shows have been relatively unchanged for almost 15 years. I don't know what the answer is, but it's not going to be raising prices on what is traditionally a very blue-collar, working-class fan base. There's a lot to figure out still, and we're going to have to get through it, and we're going to have to see where it all ends up. How I see it. First off, it's good to see that Robb has been keeping himself busy and productive. The world of live music is currently in obscurity, as nobody truly knows when musicians will be given the green light to tour the world. Raising ticket prices in an already devastated economy is just a bad idea. That being said, how many machine heads or even metalheads have lost their jobs recently? If the world leaders have plans to deal with this pandemic, how would they plan to get the economies of the world up and running so that new jobs can be created and heavy metal fans can earn enough in order to pay the bills and see their favorite bands live?